Hello, if you are not interested in very long speeches and you want entertainment, go watch a different video by Mr. Beast or watch a video that has over 100 million views. I don't care. This video is all based on my own opinion and what I have to think about Grand Theft Auto 5, and why I feel like it is a simulation portrayed in a video game. If you do not agree with me and you think this entire speech is pointless and stupid, go take a fucking hike and stop watching this. If this is offending you, no one is stopping you from watching this video, no offense. And look here, do not go crazy, telling me that I'm wrong and Grand Theft Auto 5 is just a video game. Yes, I know it is a video game, but if you look at it differently, you are gonna see it as if the characters from that game is put in a simulation. Because with all of the other Grand Theft Auto games, they did not have fictional things like aliens, disappearing dogs, or futuristic weapons and vehicles. All of those make Grand Theft Auto 5 look like a joke, and I know it is supposed to be fictional, but let's be honest, this game states itself as a real-life simulator. Just remember that, and one last thing, no, mods do not count. Since those are just made by the Grand Theft Auto 5 community, and they are not part of the actual game itself. So no, I will not be including mods into this video, even if they are just reskin mods or performance boosters for the game itself, because again, those are made by people that did not contribute to the actual game itself. And even if you did, it is still a mod, so I do not want to hear it. Now that I got all of the side stuff out of the way, I will explain how Grand Theft Auto 5 is based on a simulation, and how you are stuck on an island. First, I will get the characters out of the way. I will not be explaining their story for all three, since there is no point. First is Michael, a husband who claims he is in witness protection, but is actually not. Second is Franklin, who is carried to the top by Michael, while disappointing his family. Lastly, there is Trevor, a guy where everyone sees him as a psychopath, but is actually a good person in the inside, since he helps his friends get out of problematic situations. Now, the reason why I mention these characters is because I want to start with them being controlled by a player. You see, whenever someone creates a new save on Grand Theft Auto 5, a whole new dimension is created. Either starting over at North Yankton, or picking up where you left off. As the player controls one of the characters, the player can make them do whatever the player wants. If they want their character to blow themselves up 100 times or getting beaten up by a random hobo, they will do just that. But most importantly, it is how you are able to save many times. By creating a new save, you are making a copy of your dimension or making a new one, depending on your game progress. And here's another thing, what makes the characters feel like you are playing in a simulation is how they can get shot by thousands of bullets and shake it off like it is nothing, or how they can always get revived in a hospital as many times as they want, every time they die. This makes no sense, since if you got killed by the cops or you get blown up inside a vehicle, that should not make you be able to get back up, that should make you permanently dead. And the fact that even if you have no money, and the hospital revives you anyways, it just throws off the fact that you need money to live. Oh, and here's another thing, everything matters what the player, or the character does, but will not really apply for most other characters that cannot be controlled in normal gameplay, like Brad or Dave. You see, on one mission where a drug deal goes wrong with Lamar, Franklin, and Trevor, whatever character you control, if you go with Lamar, you can help drive him back to his house. But after you lose your wanted level, Lamar will keep shooting cops on sight, and you will not get in trouble for it. But if you shoot back, that all of a sudden is a red flag for the cops. Which is strange, and especially if you even able to hold tons of weapons like a machine gun or a rocket launcher, and tons of more weapons, all in your Mary Poppins pocket. When you pull a big weapon out, the character will just pull it out of thin air. Which makes no sense, and it will disappear once you put it up. It would make more sense to have two large weapons on your back, and a couple of sidearms along with a melee weapon, make it seem more understandable, than just pull weapons out of thin air than pulling them out of thin air like you are performing a magic trick, which just seems very stupid. And did I mention the fact that these characters completely show off they are being controlled by the player? Sometimes, if you switch to one of the characters, they will start to flinch a little, or leave, and they will say they need to do stuff and they will be right back. This highly explains that they are being mind-controlled by a certain being, and that is you. Until you stop being them, they will do whatever you make them do. And that completely shows that the characters are in a simulation, but, since this is a simulation, and a game, the player can control the simulation itself, and before you say anything, you may ask yourself, how would I be able to control the entire simulation of the game itself without using mods or doing glitches that can affect your gameplay? Well, since this is a fictional video game, there is bound to be abilities the player can use, like pausing the game, leaving the game, deleting the game, slowing down gameplay, or just outright removing game files, which is practically meaning you are removing certain assets from the simulation itself, as it also may apply to all of your dimensions, or your saves, if you know what you are doing. Yes, I'm going there. So basically, when you pause the game, you are completely freezing the simulation, making everything and everyone stop dead in their tracks from what they were doing until you resume the game. That means you have stopped time, but I will be explaining time itself in another category later. Anyways, as you pause the game, you can modify the simulation with the game settings, load saves, join multiplayer, which I will also get to later, and mostly, you can pause to take a break. If the player gets tired, they can just pause until they feel like they will play again, and let me talk about leaving the game. When you leave the game on whatever previous save you have made to the game on a certain dimension, you are completely abandoning the dimension. Meaning that once you leave, all of your dimensions will be put to sleep, having everyone frozen in place, unable to do anything. Once you get back, you can pick up where you left off. And sometimes, depending on the way you saved, you can continue in different locations or trigger another character cutscene. And most importantly, reloading some things in your save like cash briefcases, items, and game events. And if you are ever wondering how the game loads around you on this island of Los Santos and Blaine County, well, you are in for a treat. Because everything loads around the player, or the character they are controlling. Trust me, if everything would load on the entire map, the simulation, or game, would probably never handle it and outright become unstable. This is why everything is designed to happen around the player in a certain radius, depending on their state. If on foot, everything will load in a short distance. If above or in a helicopter, everything lightly loads from a far distance, and certain events will load around the player at random times. And this just doesn't apply for the map itself. Before I even talk about the map, I want to talk about the pedestrians in this game. Or the AI. You see, these pedestrians are not real, of course. They are just living objects in the simulation that the player can abuse or screw around with. And I will also include the animals in this game, since they are programmed in certain ways to behave like a human AI, but have different actions, depending on what type of animal they are. If they are a bird or a dog, it can be very different. I will say it right now, pedestrians and animals will vanish from the simulation when the player gets too far from them, unless they are marked as an important entity, according to the game files. The unmarked AI is determined by the game's loading radius. If they are far from the player, they will despawn and cease to exist, and if the player gets near a certain spawn point provided for these entities, like sidewalks, they will spawn into the simulation until they are unloaded, or they have been killed. And you can run into the same pedestrian many times, with the same skin color and clothes. So no, it is not a coincidence, you are not running into the same pedestrian, you are running into clones, or duplicates, of the same entity, copy and pasted. And some pedestrians can sometimes say the same dialogue you heard before, with the same names they say. Making it hard to believe these people even exist, and they just only exist around the player until they are unloaded. Which makes this feel like a simulation, since pedestrians driving cars give off the same result. And lastly, I just want to talk about their knowledge. The pedestrian AI in this game is completely stupid. No joke, and no, I am not mocking or making fun of the AI in this game. In fact, they are kind of smart, but mostly dumb. How do you feel when you are put into a simulation, and almost every pedestrian around you is acting the same? Sometimes, I have seen pedestrians walk into walls or outright fall to their death. And when you just say hello to them, they will just randomly get aggressive at you and start fighting you. Or the fact that some pedestrians will ignore you as you fire a gun without a suppressor, or blowing things up. They will just sit there until you tamper with them, like pushing them, and do not get me started with the pedestrians in vehicles. These driving pedestrians are programmed to drive in a specific route. First, some constantly drive around the entire map with no goal or location they want to stop at. Second, if something is blocking the road they are programmed to drive on, unless they are altered, they can drive through objects if you are far away enough, because the collision is not present until you get close enough, then it will load in. If they are not driving on the road, their collision will be present until they get back on the road. Third, these pedestrians are mainly for carjacking for the player to use for their advantage if they do not have a vehicle and they are stuck on the road. Some will try to fight you when you take their car, but they won't do much, except for trying to fight you or driving away once they get their car back. And what is weird, how rare it is to find pedestrians wielding weapons. In previous Grand Theft Auto games, you could find pedestrians with weapons, but most were from a gang, so I will just keep my mouth shut about that. And now I will talk about their loading areas, and where they load in. I have tested this, but basically, this is about Fort Zarcudo. You see, if you go far enough from the base on the Zarcudo mountain, but is still visible, pull out your sniper rifle and aim at the base. You will see normal pedestrian vehicles load into the base. Once you go to the base, the pedestrians will drive around in the base, but then leave because they do not know how to behave in the base, since they are not programmed to drive in here. But will drive in the way military cars and tanks drive in the base, copying their route. Now, why am I stating this? Well, that is a good question, because it totally makes complete fucking sense that pedestrians can drive in the base, but the protagonists cannot. If the base is a restricted area, and no one but military personnel is allowed, then how come normal pedestrians can drive around in the base without trouble, but the moment you even take a step near the base entrance, it pulls out red flags everywhere and you get a high wanted level for just entering? This is just completely stupid, and it makes pedestrians look like they can do whatever they want, and they cannot get in trouble for it. Only the player is blamed for everything, and on random events, police can be chasing a pedestrian, since they have done something wrong. But if they decide to pull out their weapons and fire at the police that is chasing them, if they win, they will drive away and no more cops will chase after them. But if you shoot at police, they just start sending the entire damn police force after you until you give up or die. If you think you are a master at escaping the police, pedestrians are better at escaping cops than you. Because they can just get away with anything as long as the game does not mark them as an important entity, and there are special pedestrians also marked as important entities. Who are they? Well, it's your friends in the game. Yes, in missions, every protagonist that your character knows about are marked as pedestrians. On one mission, after stealing a submarine for a heist, Floyd will drive away, but if he drives far enough, and you happen to find him, it will just be a normal pedestrian driving his vehicle that he took. Which makes me believe, that was not Floyd. That was just a normal pedestrian that looked like Floyd until he would drive from your loading radius. Very weird, Rockstar. And now, on to the animals. I really do not have to talk much about the normal animals. They act like animals, they move like animals, and they are almost accurate enough to make it believable that these are real animals. But there is a few flaws. The fact that certain animals always spawn in the same locations they are assigned to spawn in, like the cougar near Stab City. And the fact that some pedestrians won't scare away deer, or elk in this case. But when you try to get close to them, they will just run away, ignoring the fact that a pedestrian was just near them. Which is very confusing. And one more thing, how the fucking small dogs fucking kill you instantly. Okay, I am very sorry for shouting that out, but it makes no sense that a single, small, and weak dog can just tackle you and instantly kill you by just biting you. If your character can withstand multiple bullets, then how come a single dog can just one-hit kill you? And the worst part is that there is not button or action you can do to throw the dog off of you. You just have to sit there and watch your character get painfully eaten by a dog. Which is just embarrassing. Sadly, this applies to many other dogs and cougars. Especially for Trevor, since he looks like he can beat up one. But aside from all of that, there are these things called a peyote. When you eat them, you become an animal, depending on the color and location of the peyote. Each color indicates a class for the animal. One is for fish, one is for land animals, and one is for birds. And then there are the golden peyotes, which are the hardest to get, and you must arrive to their locations at a specific time and weather, which has to be snowing or foggy. These were a pain in the ass to find without cheats, and I can see why they were discovered by having to look in the game files. Especially when they're golden. Now let's talk about the game map. Like every other open-world game, it has a map with the playable area to keep you in the map. The map is surrounded by what seems to be endless ocean, but if you try to swim away, a shark will appear, and since you can't shoot at it, it will then eat you and you will be sent back in the playable area. If in a vehicle, it will break down, if it is a boat or air vehicle, and you will be stranded in the water again with the shark. You cannot go super high up because there's an elevation limit. And you will die if you go too deep in the ocean at crush levels. So the fact that you cannot leave an island really makes it like a simulation. But I cannot complain about this, since giving you the ability to leave the island and explore other islands in story mode would take a very long time to develop, and I can see why you cannot leave. Even if they let you travel on endless ocean, there is gonna be a limit on how far you can go until the game becomes unstable. And here's another thing everyone is asking about: can you reach the end on the mini-map? No, it is a part of the mini-map, and it is to show the direction of north. So it doesn't exist as a marker, and the island itself, or the game map, is a huge island to explore and discover secrets, find weapons and items to aid your journey in missions, and lots of activities to do. Adds lots of variety on what you can do in the game. But it is pretty weird on why there are so much items and body armor just lying on the ground, and why no one is also picking them up. And the fact that they can respawn makes you think that the simulation wants you fully stocked for their satisfactions. And what is weirder is that vehicles can provide you with weapons, but with little ammo. Which is just strange, and it is already obvious, unless you use a scope or something to zoom in with. The map can look pretty ugly from a far distance away from the player's loading area. Wherever you go, everything looks awesome and gorgeous, but away from the player, everything looks extremely ugly and low quality. Especially on older versions of the game, when you are far away from objects like trees and bushes, when visible, can give strange results. They look ugly from a distance, but when you zoom in on them, they look good. And you can even find coral spawn on land. But I don't have much evidence for this. And if you are wondering what is under the water in the map, you can find things like crashed ships and planes, but what throws off the non-fictional aspect of this is that you can find a sunken spaceship, which is also mentioned as a UFO. Especially above Mount Gilead, when you meet specific conditions for this to spawn, a UFO will spawn above. But what is weird that this UFO has the FIB logo on it, which just makes no sense. And one appears above Fort Zancudo, but it does not have any logo on it, so people claim this UFO is an actual alien spaceship. But many says it is an hallucination. But what I do like about is one of the missions, where Trevor infiltrates a Merryweather cargo plane, as he was gonna take it back to Mackenzie Field for trading. Military jets come by and takes down the cargo plane, leaving it to crash in the ocean and Trevor escaping by parachute. What I love about this is that when you finish the mission, you can go underwater and find the plane crashed in the Alamo Sea, and you can dive down there with gear and pick up items, armor, weapons, and a badass railgun too. And the best part, they respawn, so you can stock up on railgun and rocket ammo, and that is not the only thing that affects the map. Other missions like the train mission, the FIB shootout with Michael and Dave, and other missions can affect the map and gameplay. Especially with Lester's missions, giving Franklin a nice house, and affecting stocks. Letting players earn up to $2.1 billion in investments, which just seems unbelievable. I have no idea if a single human in real life, that is not behind a huge successful company, or a CEO, can make $2.1 billion in investments. And the thing is, you have to do the Lester missions after the mission, the big score. Back to the map, there is not much to talk anymore about it. It is like every other open-world game, but was a step up from Grand Theft Auto San Andreas map, since the island is basically San Andreas. But here's a big problem about it: how could a map shaped in a square, with 4 mini-islands shaped like squares, that forms into a big square, could form over time into a map that looks like a chicken nugget with a face of a mouth with no eyes or nose? Just to be honest, I just like Grand Theft Auto 5's map because of the way it looks like a chicken nugget, and wonder why the devs chose this. Seriously, I mean, who thought it would be such a good idea to make the map look like this? It just looks like a big chicken nugget with just a mouth. Here is what I mean: you see the Alamo Sea? It looks like the mouth, but there are no eyes or nose, just the mouth. And the island is shaped like a chicken nugget, so it just looks really weird. I don't understand how an island would look like a giant square, but then look like this. This is probably one of the funniest game maps I have ever seen, and makes me wonder why Rockstar would think it would be a good idea to make it look like this. Okay, I will get this out of the way, but most of the buildings in story mode is completely inaccessible, and cannot be entered. And buildings that has interiors are mainly for the missions in the story and will become unavailable to enter once you completed the missions based around the building interior. There are some buildings you can enter, but they were here for the missions too, like that one hallway for the mission where Molly tries to escape with the film, and runs through an airport hangar hallway, before being sucked into a jet engine and being cut into millions of fleshy pieces. And also, I do not know if garages should count, since you have to press a key or button to transition into a fading cutscene of you character opening the garage door. But while you are in the garage, I am pretty sure the garage interior is stored out of the map, but I have no clue since I have never tried clipping out of the inside of one of the garages. For the rest, with no interior, going inside them will be pointless, since they have nothing in them or objects stored inside them, waiting to be called for certain events to happen when it is triggered by the player. This category was short. Oh man, this will be long. So basically, the police in this game heavily relies on the wanted level. 1 star put the police at a halt. They will aim their guns at you, but not shoot, and try to arrest you. If you resist, you will get 2 stars, where they say screw it, and just fire at you at full force. This is just kind of stupid, as if you simply try to run, they just shoot at you, making this feel like a simulation of drama. Police in the United States never does this in real life, as far as I know anyways. And wanted level 3 to 5 spawns helicopters and more police and FIB units constantly, and to be honest, the police in this game is both retarded and brutal. Whenever you cause basic trouble, they will just barge towards you and want you dead at all costs, and at higher wanted levels, the FIB units even risk their own lives to kill you by hanging on the back of FIB vans, and shooting you with a pistol with the other hand. This is just extreme, and I definitely know the police in real life would never do this, even if the situation was severe. And they removed the 6th star, but I understand why. Because you would just get instantly blown up by a tank the moment it spawns in. Also, your crimes in this game is always forgotten. If you have caused so much crimes, the police never cares about it. Like if you kill over 300 cops and escape, the crimes you committed are completely forgotten and you can go off scot-free. This is just completely dumb, and makes Red Dead Redemption 2's police look really smart, since they do remember your previous crimes until you pay off your bounty. Here, there are no bounty. You can commit every crime under the goddamn sun and get away with it, no matter what. It makes me wonder how the characters are allowed on this island anymore. Oh, and do not mention how retarded the police is. If you go to that one building where you first meet up with Dave in the game, if you stand on the brick railing near the top of the building, you are completely safe, Police will keep climbing the wall to get to you, but will keep falling to their death, over and over again. And the fact you can stay in your safe house, and the police can keep marching in, not thinking about how they will get shot in the head when they go in a room you are hiding in. If the police were smarter, they would not rush inside to find you, just to get shot by you, and oh my god, even if you just talk to the police up close to them, they start getting pissed for no reason, and then arrest you for simply talking or throwing an insult at them. And attempting to run off a few seconds will make them shoot at you like you murdered someone. I mean, what the fuck? I know other Grand Theft Auto games did this, but this one is the best at showing how big of an asshole the cops are in this game. And they are so annoying too. They will keep throwing the same insults at you if you are wanted, and they will never shut the fuck up. It is just annoying at all times. Seriously, as I am fighting the police, I just keep hearing, asshole, asshole, you're an idiot, pussy, asshole, and it just keeps going. It almost makes fighting the police not fun at all. It just feels like a simulation because they say the same shitty insults over and over again. They always rush to kill you, no matter what, and they just sometimes kill themselves for how completely dumb they are. I feel like when one guy was like, I want to be a cop, so let's become one, they just gave him a gun and outfit and said, here, take this, and shoot at guys that does bad stuff, and spy on peds. And during the police training, the instructor was like, okay, so what you need to do is read this list of sentences and annoying insults, and keep shouting them out repeatedly during a gunfight with the criminal, and ram into walls repeatedly for no reason. And you also need to shoot at people that simply insult you or run away to resist arrest. Do not worry, you do not need to take an exam, because we have infinite cops that magically teleport at crime scenes, so your life will do all of the work for you, while all you do is eat donuts and shoot at bad guys. Good luck, you fucking retards. And then the guy would be like, wait, what happens if the criminal is one of the protagonists of the game? Oh, don't worry, because you will teleport there and do all of the stuff that I instructed you to do. It is okay if you get killed, because your life doesn't fucking matter. We can just keep sending an infinite amount of cops after them, armed with infinite ammunition, and when killed, we'll drop 10 fucking bullets of pistol ammo. And don't worry, with game logic, we also have infinite cop cars that all look the same, with a few different styles. Now study the work and become a time killer. Yeah, that is probably how the police forces in Grand Theft Auto 5, completely retarded and useless. Because the only thing that are actually smarter than the cops in this game are the fucking rabbits, since they don't act stupid, they hop around like actual bunnies, and they don't take action seriously. And trust me, that is pretty fucking embarrassing to say that a bunny is smarter than a cop, a human that is designed to protect their country and serve justice. But instead, they outright shoot people that throws a wrapper on the ground and ram into walls because their life was a mistake. And just why would Rockstar think it would be a good idea to have the cops not give two shits about other pedestrians that does bad things other than the protagonist? I swear, one time as I was playing the game, on the Series X edition by the way, one pedestrian was fighting a random woman, and there was a cop there, just ignoring the fact that there was a guy assaulting a woman. But the moment I tried defending the woman and punching the guy that was attacking her, the fucking cop pulled out his damn gun and started trying to arrest me. I feel like the cops are the bad guys in this game. Oh, and I really hope you like seeing the same cops over and over again, because if you go into a gunfight with these guys, copies of some of the same fucking cops will keep coming and some start looking similar. It feels like the ones you are killing keeps teleporting to a hospital, getting revived, and then teleporting back to where you are, so it feels like you are fighting the same cops again. And same goes for news units. The only things that are different about them is different skin colors and sometimes spawning with helmets, and in a different outfit, but still called the police. Seriously, it makes me wonder how the entire planet is not swarmed with cops. Oh wait, you are not on a planet, you are on a fucking gigantic square body of water with a circular skybox surrounding the ocean, and the only thing on the fucking map is the island itself, being 10% the size of the entire fucking ocean. Now I know for sure this feels like a simulation, because with another thing is that if you go far from the playable area of the game, Helicopters are able to find you still in boats, and it's not fair how they can just freely drive out of the map just fine, but not the player. And can I mention that the cops are able to find you no matter where you are as long as you have a wanted level? If you even hide in a bush or hide inside of a house in a room, the police magically knows exactly where you fucking are and will make you regain your wanted level once they spot you unfairly. What, is there a fucking GPS tracker inside the protagonist's fucking brain, and the cops can easily find them without trying? Then how come they just don't do this for the amount of crimes they have fucking committed? Oh wait, it is because they're mentally retarded and they just don't care. I swear, the cops in Grand Theft Auto 6 better get a fucking huge improvement, for where they actually act like real-life cops, because oh god, if they make them as dumb as the cops in this game, I will fucking lose it. They are stupid, they are annoying and they never shut up, they ram into walls and damage their own cop cars, which makes me wonder how they are even allowed to fucking drive, shoot at innocent people that did nothing wrong, be racist to Franklin and arrest him if he talks to you, shoot at people who simply insulted you, eat 2 dozens of donuts every day, and be asshole. Screw this shit, I am so done talking about the fucking cops from this game, they do not deserve a longer speech from me. I can appreciate how much effort Rockstar tried making the cops act like actual cops, but sadly, they do not feel like cops, they just feel like terrorists in disguises. So they are a complete dead giveaway that this game feels like a simulation. And do not get shocked when I say this, but Grand Theft Auto 3's cops are smarter than Grand Theft Auto 5's cops, because they actually try and they aren't as annoying, even if they ram into walls and drive off cliffs. Of course, when there is a game like Grand Theft Auto 5, with lots of work put into it, looks really good, and has lots of content, there are bound to be game-breaking glitches, but I will only state out the most important ones, since there are way too many glitches that can affect gameplay. I would be here for hours if I told you every single glitch, so I will stick with someone you may be familiar with. And I will not be stating glitches from different versions of the game other than the recent version, since those glitches were patched out and fixed, so it would be pointless stating them. First up is the best one, the North Yankton glitch. Before starting the mission, bury the hatchet, get a bike as Trevor, pour gasoline in front of the garage door, light it up, then enter it. Your character will fall on the ground on fire during the transition, but then you will not spawn in the garage. Instead, you will still be in Los Santos, but your mini-map is gone and you are using a powerful glitch. But I will state that later. Anyways, call for a taxi, and if you want to drive there yourself, open the interaction menu and keep it open while driving to the mission marker, and unless you know where Michael's house is, you won't know where to find the mission marker, since the mini-map is gone and the map does a pathetic job at telling you where you are, since your player icon is glitched out, since the game still thinks you are in the garage. Anyways, if you know where it is, touch the marker and skip the cutscene if you want, it will not affect the glitch in any way. After the cutscene, immediately jump out of the car Trevor is driving and find a taxi, or again, open up your interaction menu and drive to the hangar, if you know where it is of course. Before entering the plane, keep the interaction menu open, then enter the plane. It will say, fly to North Yankton. Once you get near the destination marker, or the yellow marker, the moment the screen starts fading, quickly close the interaction menu. Even if it disappears during the transition, it will still count as opened. If you have done all of these steps correctly, it will say, mission failed, Trevor has died. Cancel the mission and go find the helicopter. Fly southeast on the map and you will find the entire map of North Yankton, fully explorable. This is the best glitch so far. Oh, and before I move on to the next glitch, I forgot to mention that you need to call a taxi, take the driver out, honk the horn to get a taxi job, then get out. Your mini-map will appear again, but you will still be glitched out. I highly recommend doing this once you perform the garage glitch, before going to Michael's house. Now I will talk about the fresh meat glitch. And it is super easy. All you need to do is play fresh meat, and then replay the mission after you complete it. Skipping to the ending of Fresh Meat, what is so special about this is that it doesn't end for almost a minute, which means that after the scene where Michael washes his face off from the sink, you are able to keep playing for almost a minute, and the best part is, you can save the game. Once you save the game, quickly load the save, and you will load a corrupted save file. However, this glitch can occur in many different ways, so go watch another video that states the fresh meat glitch, since I would be here for a while talking about it. But that once glitch kind of makes it feel like you corrupted the simulation your character is in, and it just feels pretty scary just thinking about it. And then there are some glitches that can have once guards spawn a ton of nightsticks, or a guy that spawns loads of clipboards when killed or knocked out. Or a glitch where you can clip inside a wall from character switching. There are just so many that is crazy, and if Grand Theft Auto 6 is improving with quality and map size, I cannot imagine that it will have tons of glitches too, like from this game. Okay, I do not even know if I should really talk about Grand Theft Auto Online, but I'm gonna do it anyways. First, let's get their biggest mistake out of the way that ruined their fan base. Grand Theft Auto Online Mercenaries DLC. This update has ruined Grand Theft Auto Online by screwing up many fan-made tracks and jobs, shoving GTA Plus up everyone's ass and demanding them to buy it now so they can get a couple of shitty free cars and a few perks, along with daily money, which makes it seem like a Roblox tycoon or simulator feature, but now you have to pay for it. And another thing, just who, in their fucked-in-the-headed mind, would think that removing over 200 cars from car shops in GTA Online would be such a great idea? In fact, it sounds almost barbaric, to be honest. It is like, oh, come and buy our GTA Plus shit so you can get some shitty cars for free that are way better than those stupid-ass cars we removed because no one was buying them. Are you fucking serious, Rockstar? Are you becoming so greedy to the point where you might add a fucking paywall to buy to play missions and get access to something powerful until someone finds a way to make it look weak? Seriously, I thought Red Dead Online was dying, but now I know which one is dying faster. It is gonna be GTA Online now. Now that may not be true, but I'm trying to prove a point. Why would you ever think removing over 200 vehicles from the game is gonna do anything better? It seems like you just don't care about GTA Online anymore, and you are trying to rack up more money from Shark Card purchases and GTA Online subscriptions to put it into GTA 6. I do respect that, but my god, removing cars and messing up jobs just seems a little too far, and no one is gonna want to buy your stuff anymore. And the thing is, GTA Online looks like a complete simulation compared to story mode. It is like story mode has real-life logic and smart people who strive to make a better community, where GTA Online just looks like unicorns and dragons. When you start as rank 1 in GTA Online, you start getting a million phone calls and you start wondering what the hell you are supposed to do first. And then, you start seeing retards on flying bikes that shoots homing rockets and can hover in the air, as I like to call it, the Oppressor Mark II. Even with its updated price, griefers are still buying them, and the worst part is, if they notice someone with at least a $1,000 bounty, they will go into assassin mode and start doing everything they can to murder the player with the bounty. Or they will fly around and blow up low-level players, or destroy hard-earned vehicles other players worked hard to purchase. Oh, was that not too futuristic for you? Then how about literal murder drones and robots? Some rich players will hide in their buildings like little pussies and send drones to kill other low-level players that can't fight back, constantly. Or juggernaut robots that just look fictional. Seriously, playing GTA Online feels like you're in a complete nightmarish fever dream that never ends, and you start scratching your eyes out, banging your head, begging for freedom, but you will never get it. Back then when GTA Online was introduced for Grand Theft Auto 5, it was amazing, nothing was too futuristic, GTA Plus didn't exist, you could rob money trucks, which I am glad they have brought back, and you can do lots of activities, and much more. And mostly, Oppressor Mark IIs didn't exist and there were barely any griefers back in the good old days of Grand Theft Auto 5 Online, but now, GTA Online today feels like Elon Musk's puke. It is terrible, greedy, and horrible. Even if they brought back the money trucks, I am still not playing this dumpster fire of a server anymore. I will just stick to story mode unless Rockstar decides to understand their wrongdoings and revert all of the problems they made from their update, tone down on trying to promote GTA Online up in everyone's faces, and bring back all of the cars they have removed. But while it is like this, I refuse to go near GTA Online again. It feels depressing and it just feels like the simulation of hell. If you do not know what director mode is, it used to be a secret feature in the game. If you call a number that is one of the cheat codes, you can unlock director mode. This mode is specifically designed to make videos showing off your GTA characters, like having them perform emotes and having them act out a scene you want to create. You can even mess with the game itself. You can change the weather, teleport to locations, play around with a literal scene creator where you can add props to your scenes or add ramps and dynamic objects to goof around with. And you can change characters. Yes, you heard me right, you are given a full-blown list of characters you can change into, characters that are meant to be unplayable. And you can activate cheats like a permanent invincibility, super jump, and more. You can even change the pedestrian density and you can clear and reset everything in your radius, including resetting props that were broken or moved, back to their exact spots. In director mode, you will lose access to lots of activities and the ability to go into stores, or do much on your phone. But you can get creative and make some cool videos to have GTA come to life. Believe me, how did you think I have made some of my GTA videos, with director mode of course, but along with the Rockstar editor. An entire video maker perfect to make some GTA 5 videos and show off your editing skills. Record some clips from gameplay and put them in Rockstar editor, then be able to make videos out of those clips with the arrangement of tools you can use, like clip trimming, adding music, effects, text, score tracks, ambient sounds, and much more. And you can customize the camera for cinematic shots to make your clips turn into a live-action movie. Which is very awesome, and you are able to control the speed of the clip, change its field of view, give it video effects, and lots of other things you can do to make some creative videos. These two things makes this feel like a giant simulation sandbox with lots to do and create, and it is the only best thing about GTA, since there are not much flaws with it, other than the strict camera limit, long processing times, and some minor glitches. But overall, you should give this a try in GTA 5. But if you don't want to, that's okay, you don't have to, but I will so I can make some amazing cinematic videos for you guys. As we say, the only way to live a healthy life is to eat the right foods and drink a decent amount of water, but does that apply to GTA 5? Not really. Your protagonist eats food to regain health. But then you are asking, what kind of food can you eat? Well, the best you can eat is snacks at a gas station. Yeah, I'm not joking. That is as appetizing as you're gonna get. You can drink sodas, but you can't really drink water or other drinks. But with all three protagonists, you can drink things in your safe house, like wine, beer, liquor, green juice, and whiskey. But again, no water to drink, and what makes no sense is how the protagonists are living off of junk food, snacks, alcohol, nasty juices, and sodas. If this is a simulation, and they cannot eat until the game is resumed, do they eat while the player is not controlling them? But here's the problem, a player can control one specific character for a long time without eating or drinking anything the entire time, and they won't starve, and they will still look healthy. How does that make any sense at all, you ask me? And the fact that their teeth is perfectly white from all of the sodas they drink makes no sense at all. I mean, it is really weird how you can also sleep multiple times, and not eat for days, but be perfectly fine. In simulations, I do not think people can starve in simulations unless they are programmed to, so this makes me to believe that this is a simulation since all three characters could live forever without eating a crumb of food or drinking a single drop of liquid the entire time. And the fact they can regain all of their health from a single soda just makes zero sense. I guess if I start getting diseases or I feel like I'm dying, I'll drink a soda and everything will be cured and healed again. Okay, I do not know if I am the only one that thinks that your friend is absolute dog shit when they hang out with you in free mode, but are total gods in missions when you are not hanging out with them. I'm not talking about their gun control, oh god no, it is still pretty shitty. But I'm talking about the way they have so much goddamn health. On one mission, where I had to do the big score, I was playing as Michael, and I saw Franklin up front taking in thousands of bullets but not caring, until his icon started flashing red on the switching radical menu, which indicates to switch to him. But then on the one time I was hanging out with him, during a small little police chase, it only took a few bullets to Franklin before he instantly got killed and said Franklin was injured, and he blamed me for having him get killed and having to pay his damn hospital bills. That was gonna be the last fucking time I would ever hang out with that idiot. But in missions, he would be completely jacked when I wasn't playing as him, and would soak up so many bullets and shrug it off, but when I switch to him, he becomes a toothpick and takes high amounts of damage from one bullet from an enemy, and that is why it feels like a simulation, because during missions, when you're not playing as a character like Ron, in one of the missions, he is completely invincible, he will take millions of bullets from police and laugh it off, while you, the player, is supposed to be the one that deals the high amount of damage and be the shield to the sword. Just take a few bullets until you die and look like a complete fool compared to a man with body disorders and the ability to piss everyone off when he tries talking to them in seconds. This is just completely stupid and it makes no sense at all. If you do not think crime is the answer, there is always jobs. However, this game is supposed to be based around Grand Theft Auto, a crime-based sandbox game, not a job simulator. So you will not get much. The jobs you can get is being a taxi driver. And, well, that's it. Yes, you can buy businesses, but you will be the owner of those businesses, so you don't have to do much, unless someone robs your store or you need to resupply. Back to being a taxi driver, it really won't pay much, unless you are Franklin, that you can buy the taxi depot, and make a little more money than without the depot. But since this game is simulating crime and not working a job, I am gonna just go to the next one, since there is not much to talk about jobs in this game. Yes, there are mods that add jobs to the game, but again, those are not official Rockstar products and is just made by an fan base. So I will not count them. Okay, if this game is gonna try to base it off of real life, you know there should be ways to piss and shit in the game. Sadly, you can't. You will get cutscenes of the protagonists pissing or shitting in a toilet, but after you start controlling them and doing random stuff for a while, or sleeping multiple times, you start to wonder. How the hell is my character holding in their bladder and keeping their shit in? Are they pissing and shitting themselves every time they have to? Well, this is a simulation, so using the bathroom in this game is optional, and pissing or shitting won't matter. Now, why am I talking about the prologue when we got so far into the video? Well, it is unique from every other mission. Unlike Red Dead Redemption 2, where you are put in a painfully slow tutorial chapter that has to slowly teach you the basics of a lot of aspects you need to do in the game. But with this one, it is one single mission that teaches you the basics of controlling your characters in GTA 5, and that's it. But it is not just about the tutorial itself, it is the map, North Yankton, which is just a floating small snowy island hovering near the big-ass island of San Andreas. Now, the thing is that you cannot change how the story progresses in the prologue. Even if you try to take a different route, the game is extremely strict on where you can drive, and will monitor on where you are going in the mission. If you start driving a little off of the road, the game will start pulling off red flags everywhere and mission fail you instantly. But some people notice something under the ice under one of the bridges in North Yankton. At the center, you will find a bridge. Going under it will show an alien stuck under the ice, with no way to unfreeze it or get it out. And here is something funny, it is really weird how Michael and Brad got shot by Dave, but Michael lived while Brad died on the spot, so please ask me this, how the fuck did they mistake Brad's body for Michael's and put him in Michael's grave? Did they not know what Michael fucking looked like? Did Michael sneakily put Brad in his grave? Or were the cops in North Yankton were as dumb as the cops in Los Santos and said, "Oh, well, this random body looks like that suspect we were trying to kill, let's put him in the grave without checking that it is him so we can get a day off and fuck with women"? Seriously, I still have no fucking clue how the hell Brad ended up in the grave, and how people are fine with creating many GTA universes, or saves, and just watching Brad constantly get shot by the same dude, over and over again. If you find that funny, that is just messed up. I do kinda hate it when I have to make a new save, because that just means I have to watch this poor guy get shot again. Even if he was a total jackass, at least he looked like a great crew member. I will never know the reason why Rockstar stuck with this story and why he couldn't be a crew member for a heist. This just feels like a total fucking simulation, because of the alien, and how the train always beats you. Even if you try to outsmart it, your characters will be teleported back onto the road and get wrecked from the train. Which just shows that the simulation gets mad when you try to outsmart its plot twists and makes you get put into a cutscene that makes the plot twist happen anyways. Which just shows that you cannot change the story, even a little bit. You must play the way Rockstar intends it, or go to GTA Online and get millions of promotions of GTA Plus getting shoved up your ass. To be honest, this one threw me off a little bit. You see, you get access to tons of radio stations in story mode, but after listening to all of them for hours, you will start to notice that something is off. You start hearing the same music over and over again, the same commercials. No matter how long you play, the car music starts to feel repeated and nerve-wracking. I get that they couldn't add so many songs and commercials into the game, at least you could use a personal radio station in the previous GTA games. You could add your own song files and listen to them that way, but in this one, you do not get one. Instead, the only way to listen to your own songs is if you have a music app or a mod, and those cannot count towards this, so I am going to have to ignore them. The problem is that some radio stations like Rebel Radio does not have much variety, and uses modern advertisements and a few intervals where you can hear some country hillbilly talk about some random shit. Or a guy saying that the next song is about to play on Rebel Radio. But they can get repetitive quick by just listening to Rebel Radio for a few hours, and it just becomes infamous quickly. Obviously, we should know the internet in this game. You can buy cars, boats, planes, purchase stocks, browse pointless shopping sites you mostly cannot purchase from, called websites that shouldn't even be allowed on the internet, and a Epsilon website where you get scammed for buying a ridiculously expensive outfit that starts making your character go insane from just wearing it. But interestingly, you can only go on the websites that are available. Trying to go on a website like YouTube will just say the website could not be found and you need to try again, but I want to stop them right there. Now, correct me if I'm wrong, or I was just crazy back then, but I remember playing GTA 4, The Ballad of Gay Tony, and when I was surfing the web in that game, I could search up whatever I wanted. I didn't know if they had the real web connected to that game, and I do not know if it shut down since I don't have the game anymore. But I could search up anything like Pizza Hut and Mario stuff, and it would appear on there. That is why the game felt so real, because it had a World Wide Web that lets you search up whatever you wanted. Again, it may have been shut down, but I have no evidence, but in GTA 5, it even has fewer websites than GTA 4's provided websites without surfing the real-life web. And that is really a bummer, because the internet is no longer interesting in story mode, and even in online. And please tell me, how the fuck can you use a mouse cursor if you are using the internet on your phone? Are you using your fingers? Then why does the cursor move like the character is using a mouse to move the cursor? It just makes no sense, and it would make more sense if there wasn't even a cursor at all for the phone internet desktop, and it would actually be a finger instead. Okay, so for some miscellaneous aspects of the game. First, I want to talk about first person in Grand Theft Auto 5. If you look at a mirror, while in third person, your character will stand like a normal person, But when you switch to first person, your character shifts into a serious position, making them look like they're ready to punch someone in the face. Second, it is missions. They are self-explanatory, but some missions like did somebody say yoga is really weird. I get that Michael got drugged, but they push this alien theory too far, and it just feels like a simulation than a hallucination. Third, it is Chop. The fact that a pet owned by Lamar, and then given to Franklin, all of a sudden, becomes a big advertisement for their own mobile app. There was an app called the iFruit app, but since it kept crashing and had so many problems working on newer devices, it was completely removed, and so did the reminder from the game itself. But the fact that your dog was being controlled by your phone made things completely weird, and it is strange how a virtual dog from an app can train a dog in a video game to become the best at being a complete failure still. I do love Chop, but dear God, I did have the iFruit app once, until I upgraded my phone, which now became shit, I would use to train Chop, but even then, I was raising his happiness and training him the best I could, and the result was no reward. In the game, even at a high skill level, a brick could listen better than him still, and he completely ignored my commands. I thought something was wrong with him, so I restarted the game and he lost all of his happiness again, and I just gave up and just used the iFruit app for car modifications. I swear, I'm pretty sure I completely fried that poor dog's brain from the app. And lastly, it is the cutscenes from the missions. The fact that Wade was into Trevor's nuts during that one cutscene where he showed his balls to Floyd was just completely gross and was weird. Or how about Franklin getting roasted by Lamar, became the next popular Big Smoke Quarter meme. And there are tons of more cutscenes, and I mean a ton more, but I really do not want to go over every cutscene from the whole game, because that just seems pointless and shows no purpose for doing so. So I am just gonna move on to my conclusion for how GTA 5 is a simulation now. For my conclusion, it feels as if Rockstar wanted us to think it was kind of like a simulation. Because of these things that I have stated in the best way I could, it just feels more as if these flaws were made on purpose to prove that it was meant to be portrayed like a simulator, since the game was based as a fictional video game. But the fact that it is related to real life just puts so many questions into the audience that plays this game. It isn't just about the unsolvable Mount Gilead mystery, or the gameplay. It just feels like you never made any progress playing the game at all. And what? You did it for the achievements. You did it to get that sweet platinum trophy for completing GTA 5 and all of its achievements. Sadly, they don't mean shit anymore. You can easily go on a PC version and get them all using mods in seconds. So the achievements, they are not worth donkey dick anymore. Nobody is going to give two fucks that you got the achievement for 100%ing story mode, unless they are addicted to GTA 5 and they don't know how to play the game still. You are just creating universes and putting everything in pain for your satisfactions of becoming a big show-off. Trust me, you can keep showing off that you made so much progress in GTA Online and how you're so good at the game, but no one is going to care, sadly. Because, even if Rockstar promised they would prevent cheating and people using hacks in the PC version for online, they did a shitty job at stopping them. People are still using mods and hacks to have unlimited power in GTA Online, and there is nothing we can do for now to stop them all. And everyone just relies on GTA 5 roleplay servers these days, and never look back at GTA Online. People just do this so they can get views or friends. And before you say anything, people who make videos about GTA 5 roleplays are not bad people, and I'm not shaming them or calling them out for only wanting views and money from ad revenue. Their content is not bad and you can go check them out if you have not already. Some GTA 5 roleplay videos are actually kind of funny today and they can be fun to watch. And I'm not saying every roleplay server is good. There are some ones you should watch out for if you're not careful enough, because you can land in the wrong one and you might ever regret joining that server for your curiosity. But now, that is the end of my speech. The speech was not meant to be offensive or be a huge spoiled rant about GTA 5. I love the game, well, story mode anyways. But still, if you want to think that GTA 5 can be real life, then go for it. Everyone has different opinions and you should too. I am not stopping you from using mods or tampering with the files of the game. I do not even care if you are dressed like a furry in GTA 5, I don't care. It is your game, so I am not telling you what you can and cannot do in your game. It is your world to explore and discover. Have a great day, goodbye. Oh, and one more thing, if you like those cringy GTA 5 videos about stealing cars from popular games and shows, or whatever video has a YouTuber that only cares about views and not its viewers, I am not telling you not to watch them either. Because what I said might be wrong anyways. Believe me, some GTA 5 videos that looked unfunny turned out to be entertaining, so do not judge a book by its cover. Anyways, have a great day out there, and I will see y'all soon.